Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing a digital speed painting thing. I'm redrawing this. And this bothers me, which is why I'm redrawing it. Anyway, so I wanted to get fancy here. I rarely put much effort into my drawings. I kind of just do whatever and hope it works. And yeah, I don't really spend as much time as I probably should on these things. But with this one, I actually intended it to be like something quick because, I knew this week's video was going to be up late and I was trying to because I didn't have anything ready. So I wanted to do something that was quick, but then I also wanted to do some like digital painting stuff. This ended up taking 3 hours and I started later on in the day, so that wasn't a great decision, but you can't change it now. Now I'm uploading a day late. So, or I don't know, what if this gets uploaded 2 days late? I don't even know. Anyway, so this is my OC lens. I have mentioned this filler multiple times before, and yeah, I'm writing a story about him. I keep saying this, and I should probably just go ahead and finish the story, but it's just so stressful. Anyway, so the original drawing, it bothers me. And I think it was last week when I did the roasting my old art video, which I had a lot of fun with that. It was incredibly fun to make. Anyway, so I was thinking about this old drawing and how it bothers me, and also I was thinking about the watercolor thing I did a little while ago that I actually tried to make look good, and you know, I was on a high, so I just wanted to put more effort into this digital thing. And I also I was going to do like a watercolor painting of this character, but then I decided to do the digital painting instead. So that's what that is, and it just so happened that I had attempted this before. And let me just talk about the original drawing. There's a lot of things here that bother me, and the main thing is the anatomy. It's the anatomy. It's just off. He doesn't really have much forehead going on, and his nose is like, I don't know. Some of his features are like off center, and then his eyes are like slanty. And also another thing, when I put the two drawings side by side, for the first time after I finished this one, the one I'm drawing in the video, I realized how sickly he looks in the original drawing, because I don't know, he just looks really sick. He needs to see a doctor. But in the new one, I made his skin color a bit redder, which I think is what fixed it, because in the original he's like really, really yellowish. And not in a good way. It's kind of disturbing. So I fixed that. I fixed that. And I mean, it still looks kind of derpy, but I'm not familiar with the digital painting realm, like the semi-realistic digital painting realm, the realm where you actually try, basically. So I just wanted to put more effort into it, basically, and that's why this ended up taking longer than it normally would, because normally a digital thing would take me like an hour to an hour 30 minutes, but this took 2 to 3 times as much time. So that's the thing. Anyway, so originally I was going to talk about how I make OCs, but it was all over the place because my process is all over the place, and it's hard to explain something when I barely know why or how I do it in the first place. But I will try again a little bit, but I'm not going to make that the title of this video because I have no idea if I'm going to explain it properly. Anyway, so basically what I do when I want to make an original character is I either write about the character first, or I just draw something and I'll be like, I like this character, let me give them a name. Or sometimes I don't even give them a name. and then I just draw that character over and over. And sometimes I come up with a story for the character, sometimes I don't. My process is all over the place, and it's a mess. But this particular character, his name is Lance, and the more I think about it, the more I realize that this character is based off my older brothers. Specifically his build, because he's like tall and skinny, and even like his facial scar, because one of my older brothers has like a scar on his face. And yeah, that's basically how that works. But yeah, my process is all over the place, and I know like for creating OCs, especially if your OC doesn't really have a story, it doesn't really matter how you do it. I mean, some things you kind of have to think through, but for the most part, you can kind of do whatever you want to do, and that is the beauty of art. You can do what you want. But as far as trying to explain that is concerned, it gets a bit difficult, because how do I explain that I basically just did whatever and hoped it worked? So we're going to talk about this drawing a little bit more. Digital painting, it's a lot. Because usually what I'll do is I'll just do like line art and just color underneath the line art and do some shading and some highlights, and I'm done. But when you do the digital painting, you have to like render stuff, and the thing that gets me is rendering things and making it still look like what it was originally intended to look like. And also I wanted, well, what I did this time was, instead of I left the original sketch on there so I can refer back to it. And also sometimes I would cut that layer back on so I can see it and stuff. And even still, there were just some things that were just like a tad bit off, like his eyes. One of them is not shaped like the other one. And I mean, I was trying to fix it, but then it just got to the point where I felt like I was taking too long on the drawing, so I was just like, I'll try again at some other time with a completely different drawing. And another thing, his nose. Well, I actually ended up fixing his nose, but at first it wasn't shaped correctly, and I felt there was like too distinctive a line between like the entirety of his nose. So I kind of fixed that and made it a little bit shorter so it would look somewhat right. What's something else? Oh, and his mouth. I was having trouble with his mouth, and when I cut on the sketch, I realized what it was. It's like, his mouth isn't where it was in the sketch, basically, and I feel like it's a tad bit too small. And that's one thing I do like about the older drawing. I like how his mouth turned out, even though it's a little off center. But other than that, I like it. But I was just having trouble with the mouth in this one. And that eye, the one on the left, that eye on the left, it was giving me grief. Also scars. His scar. Because like sometimes I can do a pretty decent job on scars. And I like drawing scars. And I don't have trouble with it, but by this time it was late. It was almost midnight, and I was having trouble. And I probably should have stopped and maybe tried again today, but I didn't. So there's that. One thing I do like though about the new drawing, I like his hair. I put more effort into it this time, because in the original one I did not put that much effort into it. I basically sketched the hair and filled it in with a flat color, did some really simple shading and highlights, and that is it. But in this one I wanted to put a little more effort into it, so I did like some shading and stuff on it, and I actually like how it turned out, because I normally don't do stuff like that, because when I color hair, I had posted this drawing earlier, and I put in the hashtags, I am a lazy artist. And that pretty much sums up this whole thing. Like, some things I could have fixed, but I'm a lazy artist. Sometimes I just don't feel like putting as much effort into it. And, I mean, you know that saying, quality over quantity? For the longest time, I have been choosing quantity. I'm able to create a lot of drawings. Well, I used to be able to create a lot of drawings in one sitting. but they would not be the best for drawings because I'm not spending enough time on them and I'm not trying to make things look decent. But I feel like the watercolor thing that I did a few weeks ago was the beginning of something. I saw what I was able to do when I actually sat down with a determined idea to put more effort into something, and I really liked how it turned out, and I think I should just do that more because I've mentioned this before, my arm is derpy and sometimes it hurts. It feels great now, but sometimes it does things it's not supposed to do, and because of that I don't really draw a lot anymore. And when I do draw, I want things to look good. So basically what I'm doing is, instead of drawing a bunch of drawings, I'm just trying to draw fewer drawings that look good. Anyway, so this is the finished illustration. This is it compared to the other one. You can see how sickly he looks in the original one, and I'm so glad that it doesn't look like that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it's rambly, but that's what I do. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.